Guys, let's talk about Skate America because truly a roller coaster of emotions. like, there were tears everywhere, there were happy tears, there were sad tears, there were frustrated skaters. There were truly Olympic moments in a good way and in the worst way. However, before we talk about Skate America, can we talk briefly about the fact that Skate Canada might be in danger, in peril, at least for the Russians, because it came out a few days ago that many of the Russian skaters still do not have their Canadian visas in place to be able to go. Most of them Tbilisi skaters, but mostly all of the Russian skaters. And like the most hilarious part is that a fan was asking Aliona Kostornaya if like her visa was in place, and she literally responded being like, "Bestie, I don't know, we find out everything throughout the news just like you." Which again supports my theory that Team Tbilisi this season does not have their ducks in a row. And yes, I finally remember which metaphor I was trying to think of in the last video. Anyways, let's move on to Skate America. First of all, pairs. Very briefly, the Tbilisi team, Tarasova Morozov, beat Boykova and Kovslovsky by a significant amount of points, which in my eyes now puts them as the second best pairs team for the Russians, behind Mishina and Galyamov, because they have yet to kind of truly beat Mishina and Galyamov consistently. And Tbilisi seem ecstatic that they're performing well. Like, Tbilisi really is thinking my empire is growing. Yes! Like, she really is Mother Gothel in many ways. And yeah, I think Tarasova and Morozov always seem to do well when they're competing in the States. Maybe they should just compete there more. And their success story is forming and happening, and their army of coaches is working. So it takes 5 people for them to skate, but at least they're skating well. Now let's move on to the men's. The Nathan Chen of it all. So this was probably like the most talked about thing out of this competition, is the fact that at this competition is where Nathan Chen's winning streak stopped. He ended up 3rd, which, just to make you understand how crazy that is, he hasn't lost a single competition he's entered in since February of 2018, where he's just been winning and winning and winning. And so everybody, including myself, thought that my boy Nathan had this in the bag, but he was just not skating clean. And because of that, many people have started to speculate about a potential Nathan Chen injury, whether it be on his back or on his ankle or wherever, we do not know, but a lot of people are speculating if it is an injury. However, I don't think it is. I think it is mental. And I honestly would prefer an injury, because that would be like, okay, he just needs to rest. But I believe that is probably another mental block, just like the last Olympics, which the fact that he's repeating music from the last Olympics probably does not help. If you don't remember, in the last Olympics, 2018, during the short program, Nathan Chen had one of his worst outings, falling a bunch, and then miraculously recovering during the free program, setting a world record performance. However, that was just not enough to get him on the podium, and therefore he lost out on getting an Olympic medal. And the fact that he just kind of had this amazing winning streak afterward was like an amazing storyline. So to see him again with a mental block is just devastating and heartbreaking, and seeing it for the first time, he showcases his Olympic programs and immediately the winning streak is over. It's like the word Olympics just makes him like not be able to land jumps or like pop jumps. Ended up not even in the top 3 after the short program performance, where he had trouble stepping out of his landings. And that is a shocking way to end a 14 competition long winning streak. And then the free, he just kept popping jumps, which is why I believe it is truly a mental block more than anything else, because he seemed genuinely distraught after his performances. And I really hope that he's not gonna let this take such a heavy toll on him, like after the end of this competition and for the rest of the season, because having a mental block right now would literally bring us back to the exact same position where he was in 2018. History repeats itself. However, I really hope in this occasion it doesn't, because him having a mental block and once again losing out on an Olympic gold medal, not because he can't do it, but because his body just won't do it. Something about that music maybe does something to him. I do not know, and I know he chose it to like have this kind of comeback storyline. But if this continues, I would recommend him to switch, because it's not worth losing out on another Olympic medal. And he is predicted to get the gold medal. And then it just ends like this. I don't know. People were losing their minds. I couldn't believe it. People were so sure. And just seeing his winning streak end like this, it's almost like biblical. Like the last time he didn't get a gold medal was at the Olympics, where he left this music. The minute he picks it back up and shows it to the public, he's out. No more winning. It's like a cursed song, honestly. Why would you choose it? I don't know. I really hope this comeback storyline is worth it. And if this continues, it's not worth it. Drop the damn song. Like, it is not that great of a short program song. Just drop it. And I hope that he didn't come out injured. And if he is injured, that he rests. And more than anything else, I hope that this winning streak ending does not affect him mentally. Because the last thing we need is for him to be weak mentally. That is his Achilles. Alright, now that we got Nathan Chen out of the way, let's talk about the rest of the skaters. Because honestly, this competition was very interesting to see in the men's. There were a lot of ups and downs. And the hardest skater to watch, the biggest of the downs, was Kevin Aymoz. He had some of the worst falls I have ever seen. It truly broke my heart to see him fall again and again. And just him crying at the end was like just sad, like purely sad. I was like, get him off the ice. He is not okay. He is a beautiful skater who got a lot of attention coming up for his amazing performance skills. He was still showcasing them here. And his like truly unique and creative way of performing on the ice, his jumps, his splits, his just dance ability on the ice, it really is mesmerizing. But he's always had trouble with the technical side, the jumps. But I have never seen anything like this. Like, his short program was hard to watch. All the falls, his just defeated face and tears. He was sobbing. It was so bad. I honestly don't think I can ever rewatch that program again. And I really hope that, again, he just can recover without any serious injuries, because he fell in every which way on his body. And I hope that his mental strength is better and it doesn't, much like Nathan, does not take a toll on him. You know, bombing a program this bad could really affect you. And I really hope that it doesn't affect him, physically or mentally. Now, let's talk about our silver medalist, Shoma Uno. Not only is he the reigning Olympic silver medalist, he now has a silver medal at Skate America. I'm telling you, Shoma Uno somehow always pulls through. He's a disaster child that when it matters most, he truly doesn't do it, but then when it matters most, he somehow pulls through. Like, how did he end up being a silver medalist here? Like, what? I do not understand. And I'm so happy, first of all, that he finally has found a coach arrangement that sticks, because if you know Shoma Uno's history, he's kind of gone through a lot of coaches, even being coachless at one point. And him and Stefan seem to be working, because I see him very much more confident on the ice. And yes, he popped his very first jump at the entire competition. And yes, his jumps were messy. And yes, he had to save most of the other jumps. But it was still extremely impressive the way that he saved them. And because he's performing like this janky bolero, having the janky, messy jumps in the air somehow fit. And the way that he performed his step sequence with so much passion honestly made me forget that he had kind of not so clean jumps, because he wasn't really falling on any of them. He was saving them in a truly impressive way. And also, hear me out, Shoma's janky bolero, I feel like might be my favorite bolero. That does not mean that I like bolero. It just means that I found a bolero that I can kind of tolerate. And also his costumes, oh my god, to me he is the gold medal of costumes. The silver one with like the thing draping over his shoulder, I love so much. Every time I see it, I'm just like, oh my god, so freaking beautiful. And I've never seen anything like it. And then his bolero costume, I truly appreciate. It's like a torero, matador, but also like mariachi band thing. I don't know. He's got it going on and I like it. Then we have our winner, Vincent Zhou. He had really an Olympic moment at right here. Like, his whole storyline, his whole performances, everything about it was just heartwarming and amazing to watch. He is someone who I really have grown to become a fan of. And first of all, having his short program named Vincent, like the music is Vincent and his name is Vincent, is such a power move. And winning with that short program must feel amazing. And guys, I'm not even gonna lie, I was genuinely happy that Vincent took gold at this competition, because like, yes, it's sad that Nathan's winning streak ended, but Vincent really deserved his gold medal. Like, his performances were amazing. His artistry is always just beautiful, and the fact that he's always kind of had to live in the shadow of Nathan Chen after the 2018 Olympics, even though he's the winner of the 2017 Worlds for men's, he kind of has that was like his peak, and seeing him just climb back up slowly and surely and seeing him with such confidence was just, I was cheering for him. Like, I couldn't help it. I was really cheering for him, and I love his short program named Vincent. It makes me love it even more. And his reaction, his tears of joy was just so infectious that it was my favorite moment of the entire competition. It really was. He is a beautiful skater who feels the music and is amazing at performing it. And his costume game is good. I like both of his costumes. He looks good in them. They're subtle, but they're masculine, but they're beautiful, and they're sparkly all at the same time. He landed huge quads. I believe he landed 5 quads and a triple axel in the free program. And yes, he had to save a few in the short program, but again, it just made it even more exhilarating to watch. Like, I was cheering for him all throughout, having him finally kind of have that main character moment, which he has been yearning for years and has been slowly working towards, truly made everything worth it. Like, I am a fan of Vincent Zhou, and if he does kind of end up winning the competition at the Olympics, I'm not gonna be mad. I'm gonna be sad for Nathan, but Vincent deserves this. I am now I'm not a stan, but I'm a Vincent fan. I'm honestly gonna be fine with whoever wins the Olympics, but if it is Vincent Zhou, why not? It's an even better story to tell. Even though I am cheering for you, Nathan, and I really hope that you can come back up and have that comeback moment which you were yearning for. But that music might be cursed. I'm sorry. It just might be. It might be. Now, let's move on to the women. And first, the second love of my life, Amber Glenn, my girl, even in practice, she seemed very frustrated, like, with herself. I can feel her just kind of being like, what is wrong? Like, I can do this, but I can't. And I mean, honestly, she had relatively clean performances, but as always, the story with her is that it just doesn't match up with the insane competition that surrounds her. It just doesn't. Women's skating is moving fast. It's moving strong. The elements are hard, and sadly, Amber Glenn is just not catching up. Like, to the point where I really don't see any way that she's gonna go to the Olympics and represent the US of A. Like, unless she gets a stable triple axel into her programs, which we know we've seen her do in practice, but she has never been able to move that into one of her programs and make it stable, which is a lot to ask for and highly unlikely for her to even attempt during an Olympic season. It's just not gonna happen. She's not gonna go to the Olympics. I've accepted it. I still cheer for her. She's still the second love of my life. And all I gotta say is that the pride flags in the audience were beautiful. And she is doing, honestly, more for the sport than any other skater right now with her TikTok. If you do not follow Amber Glenn on TikTok, you should. Moving on, we have Ksenia Sinitsyna, who looked beautiful. Like, that's always my main, point, is how is the same designer that made the worst Team Tutberite collection to date also the same designer that in the same season made this dress that makes Ksenia look like a princess running through a field of grass. Like, how? Team Tutberite, pay your people well, because we need better dresses than whatever the hell is happening. Honestly, I do not know how much Olga gets paid. All I know is that she is not given the same level of detail that she gave to this dress to the Tutberite girls, because what the hell is going on there? And yeah, essentially Ksenia performed well, she just didn't perform well enough. Again, competition is intense, and so she ended up 5th overall, right behind the main girls. Now, this was truly the other Olympic moment of the competition. Our surprise bronze medalist, the only lady to land a triple axel in the entire competition, Young-Yu from Korea. Like, honestly, I wasn't really thinking she was going to be the one to get the bronze medal. I thought Kaori kind of had it in the bag. But Young-Yu delivered, and she was fighting for it. She landed that triple axel, and it was so satisfying to see her land it in the free after seeing her fall in the short, because we knew that she wanted it, and she was so close. Also, the best dresses for the ladies. I loved both of her dresses. The short program especially. It kind of looks like a companion dress to the costume that I love is Shoma Uno's. So I love it even more. And yeah, just seeing her reaction of complete happiness, and not even after the performance, but in the second half of her free program, just kind of seeing her with the smile, because she knew that she was killing it. After she landed that triple axel, the rest of the program, it just seemed like she had wings. She was flying through it. She was having so much fun. She was performing the music. She was feeling it. She was having one of those unique moments where she was truly one with her program. And it's all because she knew that she landed it, and she knew that it made a difference. And it did. She ended up on the podium. A surprise to me, and I'm pretty sure to a lot of other people. And yeah, much like Vincent Zhou's like happiness, it felt Olympic. It felt like a storyline. It felt like a movie, and it was one of the moments of the competition, which I'm pretty sure everyone else was talking about. And yeah, I'm just happy that Korea really be out here representing. Like, she got a medal at Skate America. Nobody really thought. And now we move on to the light of my life, Kaori, who I believed was going to be the bronze medal at this competition. And I mean, she didn't compete bad. She competed well, but just not well enough. Like, not having Ultra C elements when you're going up against the Tutberidze girls means that there is no room for error, like none. And Kaori popped a jump in the short, and while she was good during this competition, during the free, like, it was just not enough to get her on the podium. And she barely missed it. Like, she and Young Yu were separated by a single point, but nonetheless she missed it and ended up 4th overall. Now, our Russian ladies. Daria Usacheva, who so far has the least offensive dresses of the Team Tutberidze Olympic collection, she has been somewhat lost in the Olympic conversation, or in the general conversation during this Olympic season with Tutberidze girls, because while she is the only reliable Tutberidze girls, she is always left behind, mainly because she doesn't have any Ultra C elements, no quads, and no triple axel. And here in the show program, she was reliable, she was beautiful, she performed well, she was consistent, she landed. It does bear repeating that I am so over this song and the entire soundtrack of this freaking movie, Never Enough, and it's overplayed. For Daria Usacheva, it's a little bit too on the nose, especially considering her position at Team Tutberidze. But anyways, in the free program is where she struggled a bit. She stepped out of a few jumps, and you could see it on her face in the end that she wasn't satisfied with her whole performance. And again, for a girl who does not have any Ultra C elements, those little mistakes are enough to put you at the bottom of the barrel, and when it comes to the Team Tutberidze ladies. However, at this performance, she ended up 2nd because there were only 2 Tutberidze girls here, and she was right behind her peer, Trusova, who we need to talk about, because Trusova, for a second, everybody lost their damn minds over Trusova, because at this competition, the practices were broadcasted, and her practice was particularly rough, like really rough. Like, she was popping or falling on every single Ultra C element. And honestly, after seeing that, I thought we were going to have another Nathan Chen situation where the favorite to win going into the competition, which is not going to get there. And everybody else thought so too, because the Twitter girlies literally lost their damn minds. Like, everybody was just like trying to figure out, is she injured? Is she not? And the rumors that began after this rough program were kind of confirmed. Like, I don't know who or how they were confirmed, but it came out that she has an injury on her right leg, which is not great, because injuries during Olympic years is the last thing we want. But you remember that Sherbakova strength we're always talking about, where we don't know where she pulls it from, but she pulls through? Well, Trusova was freaking channeling it. She was channeling Sherbs, because she pulled through. She really, if she has an injury, she overcame it super well. She coped with it amazingly, because she gave a solid short program, and then in the free, although she was wearing the ugliest dress that Olga could imagine. Yes, the ugliest. I do not care if it has Sasha's 25 dog names on it. It is ugly, and the fact that she has so many cool reference pictures to use from a movie where the character the dress is based off of is a literal fashion designer not only makes it the ugliest, makes it the most disappointing. Regardless, during the free program, she pulled through. She landed all of her jumps and just gave an impressive athletic performance. I still think she needs to get more into the theatrics of it. You know, she has the hair, she has the eyes, the dress is not there. We talked about that already. But if she just gives it a little bit more performance, I think I'd be able to love it a little bit more. Because it's impressive to see, but it's not 100%. And I needed to be at 100% to really buy into the fantasy of Cruella. And same goes for the Frida Kahlo thing, even though she feels that a little bit more. But still, she's not melting the ice like I need her to. Anyways, point is that everybody who was doubting her after that rough practice, she gave them something to talk about. I really believe that she will be at Beijing 2022, unless this injury is confirmed, and if real, it gets worse, and then history really repeats itself, not with Shabakova being the Medvedeva who was the favorite to win, injured her foot, and then lost to the younger girl, but now Trusova is the one who would be fulfilling that prophecy. Or not, or none of that happens, and she wins the gold medal. Who knows? At this point, anything can happen. Maybe Maya's gonna win, and I'm just gonna jump into the ocean after that. I don't know. But all I know is that Trusova is definitely on the team, and she proved everybody wrong. Everybody who was freaking out, she said, I do not care. If I cannot even walk, I am here to skate and land every quad in the freaking book. And let's just hope that she stays consistent and healthy. Healthy first, consistent second. And yeah, that was Skate America. There were a lot of ups, a lot of downs. We saw, at least for me, a performance that I can never unsee, and I do never ever want to see again. Kevin Aymoz, I genuinely felt like sad watching that. And then we had magical moments like Vincent Zhou and Young Yu just exceeding expectations and crying and just fulfilling dreams, which I know both of them had. And then we had Trusova standing her ground and saying, I am not going anywhere. Twitter girlies, calm down. So the race is still going, the Olympics is still coming, and everything is not what it seems. Everything is not as it seems. That is literally the theme of this Olympic year. Nothing is set in stone and no one is invincible. Not the Tubirita girlies and not Nathan Chen. And that's just gonna make this all the more interesting to watch. And as always, shout out to Natalia, Leslie, Scotty, Timothy, Jordan, and yes, and because we have a new VIP. Don't worry, Jordan, you still get the Jordan, but now we also have Antonio Mansaca. What a beautiful name. And if you want to support me, Twitter, merch, and Patreon are all down below. And I do have to say, I kind of feel like the face reveal is coming sooner than you guys think. I'm planning a few things in the future. And as always, I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.